Hi, I'm Uncle Mark. Welcome to the channel. Just working on a 2013 Grand Caravan. They should be, for some of the stuff I'm going to show you here, mostly the same, especially the first tip. I'm going to show you the wipers. So we'll show you another four tips along with that. So number one is going to be replacing the front wiper blades. Some notes and tricks here. So this is a factory one. It's got this little door here you flip up this way, and the wiper should come out, and it's like, oh, there's a part missing there. Just noticed that. I've only owned the van for, well, about a year. It's time for wiper. So I thought, well, how am I going to show you how that really sits in there with this part missing? So I figured, well, let's go to the passenger side. There was nothing wrong with this blade, but I'm take this apart. It'll be similar. This is another factory one here. And reason I have to show you this is because I am putting a non-factory aftermarket one on. So there's a little switch here, a little button you push up. Should be able to push up and then push towards the arm with the wiper blade. So push that up and then give the wiper blade kind of a push that way towards the driver's side. It should just clip out. It's that simple. And this piece, that's kind of what it looks like. There, I unclipped it and it just clips in there. Should snap on. Of course, if you get an aftermarket one, there may be a different one already on. You might have to remove that and put one that looks like this on there. And then there's this clips back in. Give her a good snap. Should go click. Just triple check to make sure it's on there. And if you have the factory one, that little door you'll have to close. And then it should just go back down on your glass. I just have the cardboard there to make the video stand out a little better. Otherwise, the wipers kind of are the same color as the glass almost on the video. So the top one's the factory one. The bottom one is the aftermarket new one. Skippable chapters here as well. So if you want to learn some of the other tips and tricks, this is about a 9-minute video or so. This won't take 9 minutes, so we'll have you done here right away, and then we can move on to the next few. So this aftermarket one, we can see this little piece that's in here with a clip again. The ones for the Caravans should look like that, and that's how you release them, and that little clip also snaps in there to hold the wiper blade on. More videos on this vehicle. Top right hand corner, there's a card there that'll bring you to a playlist. So we put it back in the way we had the other one. Just have to wiggle it in there a little bit. Pull it till it clicks, and then you're done. Just make sure it did click in there. You don't want it coming off. This one doesn't have that little door that you're going to have to close. There's a little button there again. Because if it did have the little door, it probably would hold that on even if for some reason this got jolted or something and then couldn't fall off. Like we saw the original one they had in there that was the wrong one. And that's it. That's tip number 2, intake, upper intake. At some point, if you own one of these vans long enough, you'll have to remove it to either do your oil filter cooler housing, or maybe you have to do coils or spark plugs. That's what I was doing here. You just want to make sure that insulator, that foam looking thing, goes back on. It's some kind of a heat insulator. T20 torque or 8mm 5/16 socket, that'll all work on these little bolts. But you'd have known that if you took it apart. But the important part is it's easy to take apart. Well, easier. I've got a full video on that. Torquing them down is the other issue that you may have. That's why I'm showing you how to do this. We do have a full video on this in the playlist. As we mentioned, 71 inch-pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the sequence you do them in to 71 inch-pounds after you've snugged them all up. If you hear the little jingling, there's my little dog. It's helping me do the video. Okay, and I mentioned if you have to do spark plugs, this has to come off. If you need to do coils, this has to come off. If you're having some issues, this has to come off. But just make sure they click. This way you don't over tighten them. A couple little 10mm bolts hold the front part of it down. And you may want to use a swiveling, ratcheting wrench like I was using here. I got a set of them, boy. Sometimes if you get a set, you'll thank me later, or maybe you won't thank me, but you'll be so happy you're using them. You'll probably wonder, boy, this was a good idea. I got these. And even if you don't remember who gave you the idea, it'll make your job easier. Now, this is another tip: 3 safe place to jack the front of the van. If you have a floor jack, there's a subframe that the engine is sitting on, and there's a couple of places here under. We'll take a look under the van. There is a good spot. Again, skippable chapters included if you want to see what the last one was. The next couple. I usually go right under this big bolt here, right in the middle with my jack. And the way the cup and everything sits on there shouldn't fall off, although always use jack stands along with your floor jack. It's just nice to have a couple of these jacks too. They come in handy sometimes. A couple floor jacks, a couple of jack stands, and then you'll have it pretty much made. These jack stands slip under here somewhere. As long as they don't touch the motor, they are a must as well. Somewhere under this subframe can be a good spot again. And you'll want to see I've got both jacks there. And I'll do another jack stand on the other side. This was for an oil change that I was doing. Try and stick the oil change video here in the top right-hand corner, if they allow me to do that. Sometimes they only allow you to tag so many of these videos together. Another one could be the oil filter, your cap there. You have to remove these pieces to get into there, and that engine cover. Once you get those off, I've got a full video on this as well. I'll show you the torque. There is a torque to get this off. I'm just going to take it off first, and then I'll show you putting it back on. If you're wondering what socket you'll have to use, if you don't have a big crescent wrench, socket is preferred because it's 24 millimeter socket, and there is a torque spec to put it back on because, again, plastic, you don't want to break it. Even if you've upgraded to the aluminum housing, this cap is still plastic. And I guess it's possible that maybe you could crush the filter too if it was really over tightened. Using a big bar, I'm going overkill because I couldn't find my small ratchet. Get this baby off of here. I'll show you a couple tips with this too. Depends on which one. If you have a 13 or older or the 14 or newer, the filter's a little different. But this top, there's a gasket that goes in there, an O-ring. It goes actually where the second line is. There's a big space in there that it sits in. You think, oh, that's too big a space. No, that's where it goes. That's where you want to put it. So I'll actually slip it down into there. And I know it's a little hard to see. It's black on black, but it's in that big space. Then it goes back down. You'll want to snug it and then get your inch-pound torque wrench again. I had to use a couple of different adapters here because I didn't have a 24 millimeter in a 3/8. I had it in a 1/2 inch. Well, that's okay. 216 inch-pounds or 24.4 Newton meters, depending on where you live. I know there's some across the pond that are watching. You can also subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I've got tons of videos on these vans. I've got actually a complete playlist. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you another time, and hope to see you soon. If you're bored, here's another video you can watch.